Hello students, hope all are doing well. In this video, we are going to learn about fluorescence, phosphorescence and photosensitization. In the previous video, we have learned about consequences of light radiations, that is Jablonski diagram. There itself, we have come across fluorescence and phosphorescence. Do you remember what fluorescence is and what phosphorescence is? So, fluorescence and phosphorescence are the radiative transitions. So, these are the transitions which the electron that is excited undergoes in the higher excited levels. There we have seen fluorescence is the transition from S1 to S0 with emission of radiation, and phosphorescence is transition from T1 to S0 with emission of radiation. Fluorescence, we have seen there is no change in the spin of electron, and in phosphorescence we have seen there is change in spin of electron, and hence phosphorescence has longer lifespan than fluorescence. In this video, we will learn about fluorescence, phosphorescence a bit in detail. Okay, now look at the definition of fluorescence. The phenomenon in which a substance absorbs light and emits a part of it at a different wavelength is called fluorescence, and the substance is called as fluorescent. Fluorescence is the phenomenon where a substance absorbs light and emits a part of it at a different wavelength. From the definition itself, try to understand that the absorbed light and the emitted light will have different wavelengths, and also fluorescence stops as soon as the incident light is stopped. Okay, and the absorption of light energy causes excitation of electrons of atoms of molecules of the substance. This also we have learned in the previous topic. When light is incident on a substance, some of the energy is being absorbed from the light radiations, because of which the electrons get excited and jump into the higher excited levels. The excited electrons, they come back to the ground state, emitting a part of absorbed radiation. And usually the emitted light has greater wavelength than that of the absorbed light radiation. What is the reason for this? Why the emitted radiation has greater wavelength than that of the absorbed light radiation? This is because the absorbed energy makes the electron jump into higher levels, and then it comes back to the ground state. While coming back, what happens? It jumps, or it comes in steps, and in every jump or in every step, some part of the energy is being lost, and hence wavelength of the emitted radiation will be greater than the wavelength of the absorbed radiation. Okay, but in some cases, for example, mercury vapors, the emitted radiation and the absorbed radiation will have same wavelength, and in such cases the phenomenon is called as resonance fluorescence. And also there are few cases in which the emitted radiation will have shorter wavelength, that is high energy, than the absorbed light radiation. This is because some energy already present in the substance before absorption of light is also emitted along with the emitted radiation. Okay, so try to understand this point. In some cases, what happens, students? Emitted light radiation will have shorter wavelength than the absorbed light radiation. The reason for this is energy already present in the system before absorption is also emitted along with the emitted radiation. And in some cases, for example, if mercury vapors are mixed with the vapors of silver, thallium, lead, zinc, etc., a part of energy from mercury atoms will be transferred to the atoms of silver, thallium, lead or zinc. Okay. When mercury vapors are mixed with the vapors of silver, thallium, lead or zinc, that means when light is incident on mercury vapors, when it is mixed with these vapors, a part of energy absorbed by the mercury atoms will be transferred to the atoms of silver, thallium, lead or zinc. Then what happens? They are then excited to higher energy levels, and while coming back to lower energy levels, they emit radiation. This phenomenon, we call it as sensitized fluorescence. Okay. So part of energy absorbed from light radiation by mercury vapors will be transferred to the atoms. Those are mixed with mercury vapors. Then they are excited to higher energy levels, and while coming back to the lower energy levels, they emit radiation. Such phenomenon is called as sensitized fluorescence. And there are some other cases. Look here, the intensity of fluorescent radiation is diminished when a photochemically excited atom collides with another atom. This is known as quenching of fluorescence. This occurs due to the transfer of energy from excited atom to colliding atoms. Once again, the intensity of fluorescent radiation is diminished, if that means it is lost, when a photochemically excited atom. What is a photochemically excited atom? That means by absorbing energy from light, the electron gets excited. That is called as photochemically excited atom. So when it collides with another atom, what happens? The fluorescent radiation's intensity will be lost, and this is called as quenching of fluorescence. And when does this happen? This happens, or this occurs due to the transfer of energy from that photochemically excited atom to the colloiding atom. Here are few examples you can note down. Fluorspar or fluorite, organic dyes like fluorescein, uranyl sulfate, chlorophyll in ether, etc. Next comes applications of fluorescence. Here are few applications I have given. Fluorescent microscope called fluoroscope is used in testing the condition of foodstuff and also in detecting ringworms, etc. And also concentration of riboflavin can be examined, and invisible UV radiations, that means ultraviolet radiations, can be seen using this phenomenon, that is fluorescence. Okay, so this is all about fluorescence. Next, coming to phosphorescence. What is phosphorescence? The phenomenon in which a substance absorbs light and emits it for some time even after the external light is cut off is called phosphorescence. There, what did we learn in fluorescence? Fluorescence stops immediately as soon as the incident light is cut off. But here in phosphorescence, the substance absorbs light and emits it for some time even after the incident light is cut off. This phenomenon is called as phosphorescence. The substance exhibiting this phenomenon is called as phosphorescent. There the substance is called as fluorescent. Here the substance is called as phosphorescent. Thus, this phenomenon can be regarded as a delayed fluorescence because its lifetime is longer than fluorescence. And also, this phenomenon is mostly seen in solids. Why? Because in solids, as you all know, molecules are closely packed and they cannot move freely. Because of which what happens? The excited electrons, they keep on jumping back to the ground state slowly. So the excited electron will be trapped in the triplet excited state where the electron spin is reversed, which takes some time to come back to ground state. This is what we have learned in the previous topic, that is under consequences of light radiation. We have seen the electron has to change its spin and then come back to the ground state, for which it takes some time. And hence in this phenomenon, the emission of light continues even for some time after the source of light radiation is cut off. Okay. Now, examples of phosphorescence. Few examples I have quoted here. Certain fluorescent dyes, when dissolved in glycerol followed by cooling, can be converted into phosphorescent substances. Sulfides of zinc and alkaline earth metals containing traces of heavy metal sulfides. These mixtures are generally used for painting, watch dials, electric switches, etc. And also few applications of phosphorescence. Drugs like cocaine and atropine in urine can be detected. It is also used for separating tobacco alkaloids like nicotine, nornicotine and anabazin from crude tobacco. Okay, so this is about phosphorescence. Next, coming to photosensitization. What is photosensitization? There are few substances which are not sensitive to light. In order to make them sensitive to light, these are added to as other foreign substances, or we can also say that these substances can be made sensitive in presence of small quantities of other foreign substances. Okay, so there are few substances which are not sensitive to light. We can make those substances sensitive to light in the presence of traces of other foreign substances. What this foreign substance will do? This foreign substance absorbs light and makes the reactant to react. Such substance which can absorb light and thus making the reactant to undergo the reaction without itself taking part in the reaction is called as photosensitizer, and the phenomenon we call it as photosensitization. Okay, students, there are few substances which are not sensitive to light. So what we can make these substances sensitive to light? How? By adding traces of other foreign substances. These foreign substances, what they do? They absorb light and makes the reactant to participate or involve in the reaction. Such foreign substances which can absorb light and induce a photochemical change without itself taking part in the reaction, it is called as photosensitizer, and the phenomenon is called as photosensitization. This photosensitizer, it absorbs energy from light, passes it to one of the reactant molecules, which becomes active and then participates in the reaction. That means a photosensitizer is nothing but which acts as a carrier of energy. Okay, a photosensitizer, what does it do? It absorbs energy from the light, passes it to the reactant molecules, which then becomes active and takes part in the reaction. Thus, a photosensitizer acts as a carrier of energy. Example for this, photosynthesis. So, you know photosynthesis. Here, chlorophyll acts as a photosensitizer. Fine. So, this is all about photosensitization. Okay. So, in this video, we have learned fluorescence, phosphorescence and photosensitization. All these are short answer questions which you can understand easily and also learn easily. In the next video, what I do is I will jot down all the questions which are important in photochemistry or how to study photochemistry. Few tips I will be giving in the next video. So please try to follow all the videos. Thank you.